So again, we're getting into the 0 day class tonight, where we'll be focusing on the process for identifying and selecting 0 day setups, and these are your 0 day expiration trades. If you've been following some of the news articles, you saw that they just put out a recent article about zero DTE trading, which is kind of like a short terminology for it, where they're, basically calling it gambling. And I think for 99% of the people who do it, it probably is, or in that sense, right? So, and that's because it has a high degree of risk associated with it. And, you don't have time, right? So there's a very, very small margin for error on these types of trades. And so, what I like to say is accuracy and precision are really the terms and the type of that's the type of feel that you need to have, or kind of presence you need to have about yourself, is really being precise and accurate with your levels, precise with your entries, exits, understanding your price levels, taking your trades to the targets. All these things, you really just have to be very specific and knowledgeable about those factors. And so with that high degree of risk also comes a great potential for reward, right? So I talked about risk, and I tried to scare you up a little bit and make you not want to take these, right? So if you still here and you still want to listen for more, and I ain't shook you off, now there's an opportunity for success, right? There's opportunities to take these types of risky type of trades. And what we like to say in the investment community is de-risk them, meaning we want to take that risk that we all have talked about and we know about, and we want to, through either a process or some type of what is the right word that I want to use here? I guess we could go with process, but if there's a linear path to alleviating the factors that bring risk, such as like time and all those other things that you really cannot change, but there's other ways to de-risk it. It then turns that very high risky trade into less risky, and you're able to kind of put yourself in a position where you do have more of a margin, and you are working with something or in a system to where you can repeat that process, which is kind of the main thing. Is like you want to be able to go back and repeat the process. You don't want to just win one time and then you don't remember how to win, or you don't remember what you did exactly to get that win. You kind of like forgot, or you don't remember what you did because you listened to somebody else, whatever. So we want to be able to take the steps that we take here and make it repeatable. That's what the pack is about, right? So with these 0 days, being that it's a high risk, we wanted to formulate a process. I didn't want to leave people out there on their own, right? Because I could tell you night and day to swing, 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 buy time, buy time, buy time. But y'all ain't gonna listen to me. Y'all gonna still go out here and got there, and y'all gonna see your earnings. Y'all gonna see a inside day, a reversal, rail strat. There's gonna be um opportunities that you all will see as well, right? That you're gonna want to take. You ain't gonna just listen to me and not, and do exactly what I say, right? So my whole thing is like with my kids, like if you're gonna do it, let's go through the process of doing it in the appropriate manner, right? And so that was the kind of origin of this class, where we go through step by step of how we go through and identifying setups on the 4 hour and day time frame in particular. So, just to get back into kind of what the market has done today, typically what we do in this is we go through a list of setups, some of which I may come up with, some of which the members may come up with, and we'll go through and we'll discuss each of them, right? Um, Obviously, for a lot of reasons, we see the market in the direction that it's gone this year. So I definitely want to see what tickers we have from the members and all of that. But I don't think I'm going to go through a list per se. I think honestly, for me, what I'm thinking for tomorrow is I'll probably end up playing SPY tomorrow, or well, SPX, right? So I'm probably going to be looking at that as something to play tomorrow, versus going after an individual ticker. Um, and I can get into why. part of that for me is for one, I love the way that we had the trend change on SPY, and not to get into chart mode real quick, but if I was to increase this time frame, let's go to 2 hours. So basically, us being able to see and take advantage of this move down after Powell spoke, um, takes us right back into a broadening formation. So we covered that gap pretty quickly, like, basically in one trading day. So for me right now, I know continuities to the downside, and that's ultimately what I'm looking. Um, I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. I don't know if y'all eyes do like me, but I like to do this. I just like to put a little flip on the chart. This is the inverse. This is what SPY would look like if it was flipped upside down. If this was a bullish setup, we playing this, right? That's strong, right? I want to give people some context here. Everybody don't see the bearish side the same way they see the bullish side. So I always try to remind you all when we get to these periods, do a little flip of the chart. Maybe it'll hit a little different. Looks like we double topping on the month. But yeah, so just some insight from like a macro perspective. I'm like, we're trying to probably head back down. So um and I think we're right in the midst of that. So I think honestly for me, the sentiment is we're bearish. And I don't think we don't have to do much research about that. I think that's pretty obvious. The question that I have though is in terms of the micro levels. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. In terms of the micro levels, we just reached this weekly broad information right here, right? So the question that I have is there enough strength? Is there enough strength to or are buyers going to step in enough to push this thing back up somewhere through the range, maybe to go try to capture this gap, which is one. I mean, it's not going to do that tomorrow, but is it enough strength in there to send us with a bullish day, maybe a bullish inside day or something, or are we going to consolidate here at these BFs and then continue to push down below, right? So that's the question that I have in my mind. And we're looking at what, 420 and some change to the downside. So we got about 10 points. What's that? 10 points, 11 points on SPY. So that's a pretty chunky move, healthy move right there. But we went from 445 essentially to 431. So we've been moving, that's how it goes. When we move down pretty fast. So that's the question that I have for myself. So I'm not ready to say, oh, we're gonna bounce right here. I'm not that confident in the buyers right now. So I think with that being said, I think the sentiment is we just play what's in front of us, which is a downside move. And the same thing, we're right at this broad information level. So the real key is what are we gonna what's price action, how's it gonna react here? Right. So if last night was an indication, we're probably gonna sell off some more. But that's where we're at, right? I don't want to get too speculative before we get into that. But so that's what I'm thinking. Overall, you got SPY and the market kind of, the direction is down. So we're gonna see what's out there. But I guess for you guys who are in the chat, go ahead and throw your tickers in the chat. And we'll go through your tickers. And then I'll just kind of talk through my process as we go through each ticker. But just some insight for those of you who are not familiar with the class and kind of what we do. Typically, I would go through like like for me, I already know what setups I'm looking for. So I'm looking for inside setups maybe on the 4 hour or maybe the day that are already moving in a trend in a certain direction. So it could be upside or downside. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a function of the individual stock, right? So I just want to make sure that I find things that are already in the trend and are giving me an actionable signal. So I look for those actionable signals on the 4 hour and the day. And then I look for stocks that are in the trend in either direction, right? And I just try to take that actionable signal back into that direction. Very simple concept of what I'm looking for. That's the most simplistic way to look for these continuation type of plays for 0 day. You don't want to try to find reversals on 0 days, fundamentally speaking, right? Sure, there may be a reversal or two that pops off, but the vast majority of things that run on a 0 day are things that are um already moving in the direction that it was going, right? So maybe it held up for a day and then TTO or something, but typically you're going to have a situation where you're going to have things that have already been moving in force in that direction. And that also means for those stocks that are in relative strength, meaning the market could be pulling down, whereas the stock that you're looking at is consolidating. It's not going down, it's just staying sideways, or it's going up, like it's showing strength when the rest of the market's pulling down, right? So those are what we call stocks that have relative strength, and we like to play those. And honestly, for me, this is what sets us as a group apart. And then I like to take a little credit for that because I think that's something that I try to emphasize. I may frustrate my boy FICO because he's always like, "Hey, you don't trade against the trend and stuff like that." So I have to qualify my statements and be like, "Hey, I'm just saying I got something with relative strength. I listen to FICO, don't trade against the trend." But there's always exceptions to every rule. So like that's the whole Voltron thing, right? Um, he neither, both can be right, in that sense. But I know I'll be making his head explode sometimes. So I have to qualify that with relative strength. They be like, why the hell is he looking at an upside move and the whole market bears? It's because this one or two tickers or three tickers that I have identified or the pack is identified, they showing strength and they don't care what the rest of the market doing. You know what Boss Game always say? It don't matter what the rest of the market doing. All that matters is what your stock doing. Oh, hey, what's up, Boss Gang? I see you over here. What's up, dog? It only matters what your plays are doing, right? So that's the whole idea of this, right? So we're gonna get into it. I think I done talked enough. I want to give y'all a little bit of context. Yeah, Pat, we smoked them puts, cause real. So now Hewitt, we're gonna take a look at Abby Vibe. Got a Luca 4 hour above 153.84. We're looking at the 155 call, 389 on the potential to 154.84. So you're looking for a dollar move, and your issue is it closed below the 50. Okay. All right, let's take a look. This one right here been taking people on a ride. Wow. Been bullish. Wow. All right. So sorry. Oh, and they have a macro set up on everybody quarter inside quarter 212 potential the next quarter. That's for another conversation. We'll get to that today. See, I'll be looking at other stuff and then I find setups and I see ideas. Anyway, yeah, so we got Abby. I don't know what's going on with my 15 minutes, but we're gonna go to the 4 hour. Like this. So look for 4 hour. Let me put the 4 hour over here. There we go. outside month, 2 down on the day. Three, two, two. Chicago. Oh. Hmm. I don't know, Hewitt. This one looks interesting. We're in an uptrend as far as like looking at the week or what have you. But the setup isn't giving you the best, and it's threatening continuity as well to the downside. So if we pull down, you say like 30, 35 cents, we're gonna take the week back red. So that's the only concern. Mm. And then with the market being bearish, I've been I don't want to say surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised if it triggered or if it opened up below the trigger or to the lower end trigger. Yeah, I think that close below the 50 was a good sign. I don't think it's gonna my personal opinion, I don't think it's gonna have the strength to give us the juice we need, right? I mean, just from that 50% rule standpoint. However, yeah, I think the concern I have right here is that we're threatening continuity on the week, and that's a big sign for me. So we're only like 35 cents away, and we have a good opportunity to continue down to nine, maybe 2 down in the day. It's still showing some relative strength despite all that. It didn't pull down nowhere near like SPY did, so the strength is there. Um, what we need, so let me put it like this. What we need tomorrow for this one to go, now I'm looking at it from a macro standpoint. What we need from this one to go is for SPY to either stop selling or like consolidate. Like just consolidate. It doesn't even have to go crazy and get bought up. It just needs to like stop selling. If SPY stops selling and prices wants to hover at those broad formations that we showed earlier and do that all day or whatever, then that's cool. But once it starts like pushing below that broad information, that's gonna be an issue.
I do, hey, resume, I
Yeah.
do have that 3 bar, the 2131. It
Mm-hmm.
wicked off of a quarterly broad information. I don't know if you still have that.
I don't see it, but
And that is from 2/15/20
uh,
and
mhm.
11/15/20. I can I can post my chart in there, but I was like, okay, I don't like that it closed below 50% of the day, but it was it wicked off of that quarterly BF.
So quarter BF from 2015. Oh, you said 2020.
Yeah, 2/15/20 to 11/15/20.
Yeah, it's two of them. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't have it here. That's
Does
crazy.
anybody else? I don't know if anybody else has that quarterly
It's
BF.
it's
Goose, you got that
there.
quarterly BF? Okay.
I don't have it drawn. Maybe I took it off for whatever reason. If I had a one-on-one with somebody, maybe I took it off.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't have it. Oh, I do have it. Um, see, this is the mess, right?
Yeah, hey Goose, it's from 2/15/20 to 11/15/20.
Yeah, about this. Very much a little bit. So the reason I'm doing it like this, because I want to draw it on my messy screen so that when I zoom in on the micros, so you'll see it. I'll adjust all of my screen so you can see what I'm trying to. Ah, no, no, sure. There's a rhyme and a reason. I'm like, man, that's a whole bunch of lines on his screen. But I don't watch this.
I just posted my chart, Goose.
There you go. So yeah, that's the yep. I see it. I just wanted to see what you were saying, and yep, you spot on. That's for sure. That's legit. All right, so we can clean this. That's a good find. Nice catch, good eye, because I did not. It's ranging. It's ranging on the top of this BL. Uh, let me get some consolidation here. It's bullish. We know that. My question is, do we have range to push up somewhat tomorrow? And your target is 154.84. What are we really talking about here? We're looking at the high of this week, getting back to the high of the week. And that's actually today's high. So basically the goal of this trade is take the Luca entry and take the move up to today's high with that 155 call, and then that'll give you that basically 400% trade.
Yeah, that one. My first target is 154.85, and then the second one is like to that like broaden it, like the cluster of broad information. It has like daily, monthly, weekly, is which
Gotcha.
is 155.34 is what I have marked at.
That's beautiful. Okay.
But first target is 154.85.
Yeah, I mean, I like
And
first.
Abivai likes to show off on zero
Mm-hmm.
day. So I was like, it's kind of bouncing off that quarterly BF. I'm like, okay, we might, but then I'm like, but it closed below 50% of the day. But I'm like,
I mean,
okay,
it could
well,
do
just
one
keep
of
an
these.
eye on it.
Yeah, it could do one of these as well. I mean, maybe
Yeah, it could.
maybe it opens up two down, goes 3-1-2 down, right back into the BF, and then shoot up like this outside bar yesterday or this
That's
morning.
true. Yep, that's true. So keep an eye on it.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. I like that. I like that. I like the way that you crafted that. I think more importantly, you seeing it. Like you're being able to like develop, put a foundation to a play and craft it and see things before they happen. That's where you want to be. It's good. I'm gonna take that with you if it hits tomorrow.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna be stuck to
Oh,
the
you off?
computer.
Oh yeah, you really locked in. This for real.
I'm logged in.
Uh-huh. Right on. All right, next up, who we got? What we got next up? It's still you, Hewitt, BMY.
Yeah, BMY.
If that thing want to get in that gap, ain't no telling.
Say that one more time, DJ.
So if it want to get in that gap, if I want to get into that gap, it ain't gonna no telling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Let me hop back over there.
Because it's barely with the higher the gap or the low where it starts is like 155.12,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, or 155, whatever it is. It's like right there. That's where it been
Wait,
consolidating.
There's a gap above 155, boss gang, on Abbey
Go to
Vi?
Abbey Vi day chart all the way back to May 1st.
Okay, let me see. I didn't see that.
It's before May 1st, but I'm just saying May 1st.
Okay.
Day chart.
You have to just extend your aggregation.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
You know how we feel about everybody too.
Oh yeah.
That look back to that outside bar. I'm pretty sure Boston is probably referring to that April that in the April candle.
Yeah, April 25th.
Yeah.
It gapped down to April 27th.
Yep.
It went up a little bit, had the red 2 up. So I was looking at the high of that.
Mm-hmm.
So above that, so we're technically would be in the gap if we're going by that other.
Well, that's the target for the macro move, 165. Because if you look on my day chart right here to the top right, you see all these damn BF right here at 165.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Russian army right there. We got yearlies, monthlies, quarterlies, weeklies. It's like we ain't getting through there.
A gang of them.
Yeah. So we about 10 points away. So yeah, that's literally the target for the swings. That's what I would want to get to.
Yeah, they had the double gap down, so that first gap is up to like 160, and then the other gap is close to 165 on the day chart from April 25th. It gapped down to April 26th. It did a double gap down.
Yeah,
so the high of that 2 up candle, the highest it's been is like 155.02. So after that, it's just a big ass gap all the way up to the 160, and it's a double gap above like 163 to 165, close to it.
And I was liking this for a whole other reason, but that shit right there makes it even more cold. Cause yeah, that's fire. I ain't even correlate the gap right there to it.
Can I ask what contracts y'all were looking at on that?
Oh, I put out I think I put out some 160s for like October on this Abbey.
Are you talking about for 0 day, or are you talking about?
Yeah, I was asking Hewitt. I was asking Hewitt for 0 day. My
oh,
fault.
for 0 day. The one, didn't you say the 155 for tomorrow?
Okay, bet.
I don't know how much are they right now? Anybody tell me about it? They're cheap too.
They cheap. They between the bid ask is 10, 16.
Oh shit. Okay, that's cool.
It's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's a big difference between the 155s and the end of monies.
Yeah, the 152.50s. They do
Yeah.
the $20.5 one. Yeah.
Hey, but if if it hit, then that's gonna be your contract. If it hit, yes, it's gonna be looking like that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be looking chunky.
Yeah, the 150 the 155 gave me 389% to the target of 153.84 to that first target. I don't know, like maybe somebody else can analyze it, but that's what I got.
Well, that sound like everybody numbers. I don't have
Yeah.
I didn't have not one. I didn't think twice about it when you said it. I was like,
Okay. Hey, boss gang, just quick question. Do you have that quarterly BF right there?
Yeah, I got
It is okay.
This is 6 month too.
Okay. Cool.
This whole that's really it's above a 6 month right now. Too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So BMY. To be honest with you, I think this BNY still got some more downside in it. Now, I mean, just to kind of look at it from a bullish case, maybe we tomorrow get a little bit of that bullish outside day move. Maybe we go 2 up, to give us a 3-2-2, but I think we're just TTOing back down. So if you want to play this TTO move up, you could do that, but I think we're gonna go back down. So maybe, unless you're thinking like me, bullish 3, then the 3-1-2 back down. And you're just playing off the TTO, the upside TTO, and playing it back to the downside into continuity. And
Yeah, I
then,
was thinking the same, to like either to the upside
okay,
or down, to the break of the one. Like it was just basically what I was. But Abivite, I was just like, I don't know, like that quarterly BF is the one that was just like, okay, it wicked off of that. So I'm like, okay, there's a chance. But BMY is just kind of just in the middle of, just
this is a
this range between these two weekly broad informations, and it's just kind of hanging out there. So I mean, you can the 3-1-2, like the 3-1-2 down, like it can go all the way to like what, like that weekly broad or they have a daily right there too, but like it could go down to like 57.91 area if it decides to go down. So I need to
yeah,
analyze that one.
yeah,
But you're right. The three greens are, bearish.
this is a put play.
Okay.
I would be looking for a 3-1-2 down to take it back into continuity. Because you get the 3-1-2 down, you're gonna flip the week back red, and the day's
Okay.
gonna be as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Um, yeah, no problem. No problem. This one here this is a TTO. This is an upside TTO, and it's gonna go right back in continuity. You're gonna get another 2 down week or a month or something. This one, it ain't ready yet. It ain't ready yet. Trying to show a little heart right there. I like being well. KMB. And then the other thing about BNY, you gotta check to see if how they like to party on 0 days, because it's not typically one I play for a 0 day. But they have their moments of volatility. So if you're already in there on a BNY play, and then it has one of those days where it has those moments, it's been great. But it's really tough trying to time it like on a 0 day situation. You just gotta kind of already be in there. All right, this is KMB. Yeah, so this setup here is 4 hour to the downside. You need to go evaluate the contracts. But yeah, this is an obvious one. You got 2 setups here on the yeah, so we're 3-2 on the week. So that's interesting. We got like a little hammer type setup. We've been trending up last 3 days. Really interesting price action. But we've been trending down for the last 5 months. Continuity is all to the downside. So funny. I know there's a little bit of strength in staples right now, so you've seen some of them hold up a little bit or not get pushed down as much. So I say it like this. We want to be a bully in this situation, right? We want to pick on the weakest of the weak, right? Now while continuity is all in your favor on KMB, I'm looking at the charts here and we're making higher lows. Um, so I'm a little bit cautious about maybe we found some buyers or something. Maybe we found some liquidity that's kind of keeping the price from pushing down lower here. So I don't like the way that prices reacted these last 3 days because I'm 100% thinking puts. I wouldn't think calls here. But it's almost like it's setting you up. You got 2-1, 2-1, and then you got a shooter on the day. So maybe today, because we hit the broad information, this gives us the rejection down. So now I'm flipping the inverse of my thought here. And so now I'm like, all right, well, maybe to those that are looking for the puts, I don't know who's ticker this is, but maybe we've been trending down and we needed to TTO, we needed to do a TTO up for a little bit, and that's what we did. And then we came in contact with the first broad information and and got rejected there today, which then signals that we're going to go back to the downside and force into continuity again. Those are the two thoughts. I think because of the trend, I think I like that idea of it triggering 2-1-2 down off of this broad information touch on the week. And then that dominoing into a rev strat on the day, 2-2 rev to the downside. And you could probably there's multiple targets. It's kind of created a P&G on the 4 hour. So there's some targets there, but that would be the thesis of what I would, if me looking at this is how I would want to trade it. It's coming off the weekly broad information. It hit on the 4 hour in the day. Made a shooter on the day, gave us a 2-1-2 setup on the 4. If it triggers the 4, it's going to push us into the day trigger, and then we can identify some targets all the way down to the downside. I think 124.70 is an obvious level. So yeah, there's some potential for this one. Again, though, it's KMB, so you got to watch how the contracts. If there's people at the party for a Friday move. And also, this is not an expiration week, so you're gonna have contract open interest levels and volume lower than you normally would on the expiration week. So all of that factors into it. So you can have the most fire setup, and then you go look at the contracts, and there's 25 people in there. You're like, that's the be more careful. But if you go on the expiration month, could be a few thousand. Let's keep rolling. Here's everybody, KMB. And then he said, what else? All right, Lofi, let's take a look at Intel. I know you not looking, you thinking about something for 0 day? Yeah, Intel, we just broke out, made new highs about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So if you see the pattern of Intel and how it's been doing since it made its lows, we go up, make a new high, retrace, make a new high, retrace again, make a new high, retrace again, make a new high. Every time we do this, making a new high and then retrace, we retrace back to except for maybe the second and third retracement. Every single time it creates like a higher low on the week, right? And that weak candle's been the signal point of like, all right, this is when it's going to start to go back up. So I don't know what the idea is for this one. Maybe so I don't know. For 0 day though, I'm not going to touch it. Just to be honest, we're trapped in between these two broad informations. So I'm not going to touch it right there. We're right here, this quarterly broad information. And so I'm just monitoring that level, see if buyers push us back up or if they want to push us down even further. But this is the quarterly broad information I'm looking at. And if we were to push down lower, I don't see us going below this 3202 level from August 21st. But there's some monthlies at 34 and even just north of 33 that price could get to as well. So there's some potential. It could go a little lower, but I do have like a level that I think it won't go below just based on the trend. We got a shooter day, but again, we've got these major BS right there. So we could take it and it could consolidate, right? You know, we don't want that for 0 day. But again, you know, we still bullish on this. This is a long-term macro move type of play. So once we find our new lows, I'll be adding to my long-term positions and my comments on this one. But as far as tomorrow, I'm not touching it. I'm gonna let it do what it do. It's trapped in between broad informations, and I don't want to be trying to wait on that. But it is bearish though, Lofi. I mean, the day is a shooter, but it's a continuation. It's not an actionable signal. Like I say it like this: shooters are types of actionable signals, but actionable signals are strat codes. So it could be a two down continuation hammer, but that doesn't mean just because it's a continuation and a hammer that we take the entry on it, right? It's just telling us that price action is going to continue in that direction tomorrow, but it's not telling you that this is an entry. A 2-1-2 with a shooter on the inside bar before it went two down on the final candle, and it's just a 2-1 with a shooter. That's the actionable signal that you want to take advantage of. So the 2-1-2 on the 4 hour is the entry. That's the only entry I see on the 4 hour. And the day time frame is a continuation. And so if you're looking at that two down day, if you're already in Intel puts, then you could use that shooter day as a continuation. Like once it triggers below that, you could add to the position for continuation. But we try to just stick to like the rules in terms of like the entries. And so that's why I'm being real particular about it, because it's like a very specific thing in the strat rule book, right? So but that's it. Yeah. I mean, I think we're all in agreement on direction, what it can do. I'm just looking at this quarterly broad information, and I want to make sure that I don't want you guys to get caught up in nothing, and it's trapped in between the weekly and the quarterly. So just want to make sure. So y'all know how I feel about ETN. All right, Goose. Looking at Apple. Look this here. All right, so we got Apple. We got continuation on the day. Yeah, for under trigger. So yeah, so the level I'm looking for, this actually looks good. This is not a 0 day play, Goose. This is a swing. I don't see any actionable signals on the 0 day, like day or 4 hour time frame. But the week, the 3-1-2 below 173.58, you could treat that like a 0 day, I guess you could say, but it's a weak trigger. I want to swing that puppy. Actually, I'm gonna mark this as I'm gonna mark this one. I might play with that one tomorrow. Pause. That look like barbecue chicken right there. One second.
And on the week, the reason I pointed that out, there's a weekly BF that's right there. And so it's like if it triggers, it'll go right below it at that point. But that's on the week. But the shooter on the day is what caught my attention.
Right. Hold on, let me go back here. I think I put in my trigger on my alert, I should say. Okay. Actually, I guess I'm all right. So yeah, that one looks really good. Let me add my broad informations back and zoom in. There was a lot of gap to the downside. I don't know if you remember, but we took calls on this all the way up. I think I got out around like 180 something. But we took entry in 150 or something like that. And what we noticed on the way up was that there was like a huge gap without any broad informations. So we were just tripping out about the fact that there was a high potential for the trade to kind of push through broad informations to the downside. So if you see, that's what we're seeing here now that we're going back the other direction. We got a lot of room back to like 160 on Apple. Because I have a note to look back at this to the downside. So you actually brought it to my attention, actually at the perfect time. So thank you for that. Selfishly, thank you for that. You know, some trades or some plays, you kind of like, you got to make a note for yourself to think about for later because it's not ready to do the thing that you want to play it for just yet. Yeah, that one looks interesting, y'all. I like that apple. Now look at the triggers for tomorrow. So you want to roll that into a 170 put for next week. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah, so y'all getting next level with it. Y'all crafting plays with stages and phases and
I was in my FICO bag there.
y'all doing the dang thing over there. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta move through these quick. I got about 15 minutes and I gotta drop. I'm a thing when I move slow though.
Hey, real quick, are we gonna have some people go to the kickback lounge after this since we're shutting it down a little early?
Y'all
Yep, I'm
should.
down. I'm down.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
resume if you get some time later on, man. Peek back in on us.
Oh yeah. No worries.
I chill
Yeah,
in
I
there
just
with
say
you a little
yeah.
bit, Pyro.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to go 2 hours tonight. I gotta
Oh man, you busted out quick for us?
man, I gotta be a quickie tonight, man. I'm out here at the football field right now.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I'm like, you just giving the tips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm multitasking. I'm doing dad and Pat.